Marcus Chen pressed his face against the cold glass of the transport ship. Outside, Kepler Station grew larger and larger. The 8-year-old boy had never seen anything so big. The space station looked like a giant metal flower with 5 arms reaching out into the darkness of space. "Look, Scrappy," Marcus whispered to the small carrier beside him. "That's our new home." Inside the carrier, something moved. A small, dark shape pressed against the mesh window. 2 bright black eyes stared out at the approaching station. Marcus's mother, Dr. Sarah Chen, sat across from them. She looked tired from the long journey. "Remember what we talked about, Marcus? This place is very different from Earth. The aliens here might not understand us at first." "Will they like Scrappy?" Marcus asked, lifting the carrier onto his lap. Dr. Chen looked at her husband, Dr. James Chen, who was reading something on his tablet. They shared a look that Marcus did not understand. "Just keep him close, okay?" his mother said. "And remember, if anyone asks, Scrappy is just a regular honey badger from Earth." Marcus nodded. He did not really understand why his parents always said this. Scrappy seemed normal to him. Sure, he was getting bigger than the honey badgers in his school books. And yes, sometimes Marcus felt like Scrappy could understand him in ways that seemed strange, but Scrappy was still his best friend. The transport ship docked with a loud clang. Marcus felt his stomach drop as the artificial gravity changed. Other passengers began gathering their things. Most were humans like Marcus's family, but there were a few aliens too. Marcus had seen pictures of different alien races, but seeing them in person was different. A tall, gray-skinned creature with 4 arms walked past them. It had no hair, and its eyes were completely black. Another alien looked like a giant insect, clicking as it moved on 6 legs. Marcus tried not to stare, but it was hard. "Stay close," Dr. Chen said, as they joined the line to leave the ship. The docking bay of Kepler Station was huge. The ceiling was so high that Marcus could not see the top. Lights flashed everywhere, and the sound of many different languages filled the air. But one voice was louder than all the others. "Humans. New arrivals form a line here." The voice belonged to a massive alien that Marcus had never seen before. It stood at least 8 feet tall, with thick, scaly skin that looked like gray armor. Its head was shaped like a triangle, with small yellow eyes and a mouth full of sharp teeth. 2 smaller versions of the same alien stood beside it. "Those are Vorthok," Dr. Chen whispered to Marcus. "They run this station." The family moved to the line with the other humans. Marcus held Scrappy's carrier tight against his chest. The honey badger was very quiet, which was unusual for him. When they reached the front of the line, the big Vorthak looked down at them. Marcus felt very small. "Dr. James and Sarah Chen," his father said, "we are here to set up the human research station." The Vorthak looked at a screen, then back at them. "You are the animal scientists." "Xenobiologists," Dr. Chen corrected politely. The Vorthak made a sound like a growl. "Same thing. You study animals." "What is in the carrier?" Marcus's heart started beating fast. The alien was looking right at Scrappy. "A pet," Dr. Chen said. "A small earth mammal. Completely harmless." The Vorthak leaned down to look at the carrier. Marcus could smell its breath, which was like metal and something rotten. Scrappy moved inside the carrier, but stayed quiet. "Pathetic," the Vorthok said. "Earth creatures are weak, like Earth humans." Marcus felt his face get hot, but his father put a hand on his shoulder. "Yes, sir," Dr. Chen said. "We are grateful for the chance to live here." The Vorthak stood up straight. "I am Commander Thex Vor. This is my station. You will follow all rules. You will not cause trouble. Your research area is in Section C7. It is small because you are not important." "We understand," Dr. Chen said. Commander Thex Vor looked at Marcus again. "The small human will attend education center with other young ones. He will learn his place quickly." The commander stamped their papers and waved them through. As they walked away, Marcus heard one of the smaller Vorthaks say something in their language. Commander Thex Vor laughed, showing all of his sharp teeth. Their new home in Section C7 was indeed small. 3 rooms connected by narrow hallways. Marcus's room was barely big enough for a bed and a desk, but he did not mind. He was more worried about Scrappy. As soon as the door closed, Marcus opened the carrier. Scrappy came out slowly, looking around the new space. He seemed bigger than Marcus remembered. The honey badger walked to each corner of the room, sniffing everything. "What do you think, boy?" Marcus asked. Scrappy looked at him with those bright black eyes. For just a moment, Marcus felt something strange. It was like Scrappy was trying to tell him something without words. The feeling made Marcus's head tingle. "Marcus," his mother called from the main room. "Come help us unpack." That night, as Marcus lay in his new bed, Scrappy curled up beside him. Through the thin walls, he could hear his parents talking in low voices. "The enhancement is progressing faster than we expected," his father was saying. "The bond is getting stronger too," his mother replied. "We need to be very careful. If the Vorthak find out what Scrappy really is, they won't," his father said. "As long as Marcus keeps him close and quiet." Marcus did not understand what his parents meant. Enhancement? Bond? Scrappy felt warm against his side, breathing slowly. Whatever his parents were worried about, Marcus knew one thing for certain. Scrappy would always protect him, just like he would always protect Scrappy. Outside their small quarters, Kepler Station hummed with the sounds of 1,000 different species. But in the darkness of his new room, Marcus felt safe with his best friend beside him. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. But tonight, they were together. Scrappy's eyes opened in the darkness, glowing slightly in a way that Honey Badger's eyes should not glow. But Marcus was already asleep and did not notice. Marcus's first day at the Kepler Station Education Center was worse than he had imagined. The building was huge and cold, with metal walls and bright lights that hurt his eyes. Students of many different species filled the hallways, but none of them looked friendly. The human teacher, Mrs. Rodriguez, was kind but tired. She had been on the station for 2 years already. "Stay close to me," she whispered to Marcus as they walked to his first class. "And remember, always be polite to the Vorthak students." The classroom was divided into sections by species. Humans sat in one corner, the insect-like klaxons clicked together in another area, and the gray-skinned Nexari kept to themselves near the windows. But the largest section belonged to the Vorthak children. They were smaller than the adults, but still much bigger than Marcus. Their scales were lighter colored, more brown than gray. As Marcus walked to the human section, every Vorthak eye followed him. "Look," one of them said in perfect English. Another weak human. The teacher, a tall Nexari with 4 arms, did not look up from her tablet. Marcus sat down quickly and tried to make himself smaller. The largest Vorthak student was named Kajtar. Marcus learned this because all the other Vorthak students called him by name and seemed afraid of him. Kajtar had darker scales than the others and yellow eyes that reminded Marcus of Commander Thex Vor. During the first break, Kajtar walked over to the human section. Marcus was trying to eat his lunch alone. "You are the new human," Kajtar said. It was not a question. Marcus looked up. Kajtar was even bigger up close. "Yes. I'm Marcus. I did not ask your name," Kazar said. "I am Kazar, nephew of Commander Thex Vor. My uncle told me about you and your parents. You study animals like pets." The other Vorthak students laughed. Marcus felt his face getting red. "My parents are scientists," Marcus said quietly. "Scientists who play with weak earth animals," another Vorthak said. How pathetic. Marcus wanted to defend his parents, but Mrs. Rodriguez had warned him about making trouble. He stayed quiet and tried to finish his food. "I heard you brought a pet with you," Kajtar continued. "Some sort of rodent." "He's not a rodent," Marcus said before he could stop himself. "He's a honey badger." All the Vorthak students burst out laughing. Even some of the other species turned to look. "A honey badger," Kajtar repeated loudly. "What a fierce creature. I am sure it is very dangerous." Marcus's hands made fists under the table. "You don't know anything about honey badgers." Kajtar leaned closer. Marcus could smell his breath, just like his uncle's. "I know they are small and weak, just like their human owner. Tomorrow, You will bring this mighty honey badger to show period. We want to see this terrifying earth beast. For the rest of the day, Marcus tried to avoid the Vorthok students, but they seemed to be everywhere. In every class, during every break, they would make comments about humans and their pet rodents. Other students began to avoid Marcus too, not wanting to become targets themselves. That evening, Marcus sat in his room with Scrappy. The honey badger was definitely bigger now. When they first arrived, Scrappy was about the size of a small cat. Now, he was closer to the size of a medium dog. His muscles looked stronger too, and his claws seemed sharper. They want to meet you tomorrow, Marcus told Scrappy while scratching behind his ears. I don't think it's a good idea. Scrappy looked at him with those bright black eyes. Again, Marcus felt that strange tingling in his head. Like Scrappy was trying to tell him something important. His parents were working late again, setting up their laboratory. Marcus was alone with his thoughts and his worry. The next day was worse. During show period, Marcus reluctantly brought Scrappy's carrier to the large common room. All the students gathered around as different species showed their pets or cultural items. When it was Marcus's turn, Kajtar pushed to the front of the group with his friends. Show us the mighty earth beast, Kajtar announced. Marcus opened the carrier carefully. Scrappy came out slowly, looking around at all the staring faces. To Marcus, Scrappy looked beautiful and strong, but he could see the disappointment in the other students' faces. That's it? A Klaxon student clicked. It looks like a furry rock. So small, a Nexari student said. And those tiny eyes. But the Vorthak students were the cruelest. This is what humans call a pet? Kajtar said. It looks diseased. Look how fat it is getting. Maybe it's sick, another Vorthak said. Sick like all earth creatures. Marcus felt angry tears starting in his eyes. He's not sick. He's healthy and strong. Strong, Kajtar laughed. Watch this. Before Marcus could stop him, Kajtar reached toward Scrappy. Marcus grabbed the Vorthok's arm. Don't touch him. Kajtar's eyes went dark. Did you just grab me, human? The room went quiet. Marcus realized he had made a terrible mistake. I'm sorry, Marcus said quickly. I just didn't want you to scare him. Kajtar shoved Marcus hard. Marcus fell backward, and Scrappy's carrier tipped over. Never touch a Vorthok, Kajtar said loudly. Your species is beneath us. Your pets are beneath us. You are nothing. Marcus picked up the carrier with shaking hands. Scrappy had gone inside, and was very still. Tomorrow, Kajtar said, we will teach you more about your place here. You and your pathetic pet. The teacher finally came over, but only to tell everyone to clean up. She did not ask what happened. She did not help Marcus. That night, Marcus cried quietly, while Scrappy sat beside him. The honey badger seemed to understand that his boy was hurting. Scrappy's eyes glowed slightly in the darkness, and Marcus felt that tingling sensation again. Stronger this time. It felt almost like Scrappy was getting angry too. For 2 more weeks, the bullying continued. Kajtar and his friends found new ways to make Marcus miserable every day. They knocked his books down, stepped on his food, and called him names in their own language that made other Vorthok students laugh. They also continued to mock Scrappy, even though Marcus stopped bringing him to school. Where is your brave protector? They would ask. Too scared to leave his cage? Marcus endured it all silently. He told his parents that school was fine. He did not want them to worry about him when they were working so hard, but Scrappy seemed to know everything anyway. Each night, the honey badger would sit closer to Marcus. And each night, that strange connection between them grew stronger. Marcus did not know it yet, but something was changing in both of them. Something that would soon make the Vorthak students regret every cruel word they had spoken. 3 weeks after Marcus started school, his class took a field trip to the agricultural section of Kepler Station. This was where the station grew food for all the different species living there. Marcus was excited because it was the first time he would see something green since leaving Earth. The agricultural section was huge, with rows and rows of plants under bright artificial lights. The air smelled like soil and growing things. Different areas grew food for different species. Sweet fruits for the Nexari, protein pods for the klaxons, and meat plants for the Vorthak. Stay with your groups, the Nexari teacher called out. Do not wander off. Marcus walked with the other human students, but he felt lonely even in the group. The other human children were older and did not talk to him much. He wished Scrappy was with him, but pets were not allowed on field trips. As they walked past the meat plants, Marcus heard his name being called. Marcus, come here. It was Kajtar. The big Vorthak student was standing with 3 of his friends near a side path that led away from the main group. Marcus's stomach dropped. He tried to pretend he did not hear, but Kajtar called again, louder this time. Human, I am talking to you. The teacher was busy explaining something to the Nexari students and did not notice. Slowly, Marcus walked toward Kajtar. What do you want? Marcus asked quietly. Kajtar smiled, showing his sharp teeth. We want to have a private conversation with you, away from the teachers. I should stay with my group, Marcus said. That was not a request, another Vorthak student said. This one was called Vex Han, and he was almost as big as Kajtar. The 4 Vorthak students surrounded Marcus and guided him down the side path. Marcus's heart began beating very fast. The path led to a storage area where old equipment was kept. It was quiet here, and no one could see them from the main walkway. We have been thinking, Kajtar said once they were hidden. You have been here for weeks now, but you still do not understand your place. I haven't done anything wrong, Marcus said. That is exactly the problem, Vex Han said. You act like you belong here. You act like humans are equal to other species. You need to learn. A third Vorthak said. His name was Torgax, and he had scars on his scales. Your species is weak. Your planet is weak. Your pets are weak. Marcus felt anger rising in his chest. That's not true, Kajtar laughed. Still defending your pathetic world? Still thinking your little rodent is special? Scrappy is not a rodent, Marcus said. And he's not pathetic. Prove it, Kajtar said. Bring your precious honey badger here tomorrow. Let us see how strong he really is. No, Marcus said. I won't let you hurt him. The Vorthak students looked at each other and smiled. You think you can stop us? Torgax asked. You think you can protect anything? Before Marcus could answer, Kajtar grabbed him by the shirt and lifted him off the ground. Marcus was small for his age, and Kajtar was very strong. Listen carefully, little human, Kajtar said. Tomorrow you will bring your pet to the storage area during lunch break. If you do not, we will find you and make things much worse. Put me down, Marcus said, trying to sound brave. Or what? Vex Han asked. You will fight us? All 4 of us? Kajtar shook Marcus like he was a toy. Your species is nothing but food for stronger races. Your pets are nothing but entertainment before we eat them. That's enough, Marcus said, his voice getting louder. Let me go. Make us, Torgax said. Marcus tried to pull free, but Kajtar's grip was too strong. In desperation, he swung his fist at the big Vorthak's face. The punch barely hurt Kajtar, but it made him very angry. You dare hit me? Kajtar roared. He threw Marcus to the ground hard. Marcus's head hit the metal floor, and he saw stars. Blood began to flow from a cut above his eye. Now you learn, Kajtar said. He kicked Marcus in the stomach, knocking the wind out of him. The other Vorthak students joined in. They did not kick hard enough to break bones, but hard enough to hurt. Marcus curled up in a ball and tried to protect his head. Stop, he gasped. Please stop. Will you bring your pet tomorrow? Vex Han asked. No, Marcus whispered. They kicked him again. Will you bring your pet tomorrow? Kajtar repeated. Marcus closed his eyes. Blood was running down his face and dripping onto the floor. He thought about Scrappy waiting for him at home. He thought about his parents working hard to make a life on this station. He thought about how alone he felt. Yes, he finally said. I'll bring him. Good, Kajtar said. Storage area 7. Right after lunch. And human, if you tell anyone about this, we will space your precious pet and make you watch. The Vorthak students walked away, laughing and talking in their own language. Marcus lay on the cold floor for a long time, trying to stop the bleeding and the shaking. When he finally made it back to the main group, the teacher asked about his injuries. "I fell," Marcus said. "I tripped and hit my head." She looked suspicious but did not ask more questions. The other human students stared at him but said nothing. Everyone knew what happened when you crossed the Vorthak students. That evening, Marcus sat in his room with Scrappy. The honey badger sniffed at the bandage on Marcus's head and made a low, worried sound. "I'm okay, boy," Marcus said, but his voice was shaking. Scrappy looked at him with those bright black eyes. This time, the tingling sensation in Marcus's head was very strong. It felt like Scrappy was trying to say something important. Marcus looked at his pet more carefully. Scrappy had grown again. He was now the size of a large dog, with thick muscles under his black and white fur. His claws looked sharper than before, and there was something different about his eyes. They seemed more intelligent, more aware. "They want to hurt you tomorrow," Marcus whispered. "I don't know what to do." Scrappy moved closer and rested his head on Marcus's leg. The boy felt a strange warmth spreading through his body, starting from where Scrappy touched him. For just a moment, Marcus felt like he was seeing through Scrappy's eyes. He felt the honey badger's strength, his fearlessness, his deep loyalty to the boy who had always been kind to him. But there was something else too. Something that scared Marcus a little. He felt an anger in Scrappy that was growing stronger every day. An anger that was waiting for the right moment to come out. Marcus did not know that his blood, now dried on the storage room floor, carried special chemicals that his scientist parents had put in his body. Chemicals that would help him bond with his enhanced pet, and he did not know that Scrappy could smell that blood even from here, far away in their small quarters. The honey badger's eyes began to glow softly in the darkness, and deep in his throat, he made a sound that was not quite a growl and not quite a purr. It was the sound of something dangerous waking up. The next day, Marcus could barely eat his breakfast. His parents had already left for their laboratory, and he sat alone with Scrappy in their small kitchen. The honey badger seemed to know something was wrong. He stayed very close to Marcus and kept looking at him with those intelligent black eyes. "I have to take you with me today," Marcus said quietly. "I don't want to, but they'll hurt both of us if I don't." Scrappy tilted his head, listening. Marcus got the carrier. But when he opened it, Scrappy would not go inside. The honey badger had grown too big. He was now nearly 40 pounds of solid muscle and thick fur. "You're too big for the carrier now," Marcus realized. "I'll have to use the leash." His parents had given him a special leash made of strong materials. Marcus clipped it to Scrappy's collar, and they walked to school together. Students stared as they passed. Many had never seen Scrappy up close, and he was much larger than anyone expected. "Is that the honey badger?" Marcus heard a Klaxon student click to her friend. "It's huge," Anexary whispered, but the Vorthok students just smiled when they saw Scrappy. To them, bigger just meant more fun to destroy. Marcus made it through the morning classes, keeping Scrappy hidden in an empty classroom. When lunchtime came, his hands were shaking as he walked towards Storage Area 7. Kajtar and his 3 friends were already waiting. The storage area was full of old equipment and broken machines. It was dark and quiet, far from where teachers might hear anything. "You brought the beast," Kajtar said with a nasty smile. "Good human. You learn to obey." Scrappy walked beside Marcus, calm but alert. His eyes moved constantly, watching all 4 Vorthak students. "So this is the mighty honey badger," Vexhand said. "It is bigger than expected, but still just an earth animal. What are you going to do?" Marcus asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "We are going to show you what happens to weak creatures on this station," Torgak said. "Your pet will learn fear. Then you will learn fear." Kajtar pulled out a long metal rod from one of the storage containers. "This is a neural prod. It will hurt your animal but not kill it. We want it to suffer slowly." "No," Marcus said, stepping in front of Scrappy. "Leave him alone." The 4th Vorthak, who had been quiet until now, laughed. "The human thinks he can protect his pet, How sweet. Kajtar raised the neural prod. Move away, human, or we will use this on you first. Marcus felt Scrappy press against his legs. The honey badger was completely still. But Marcus could feel tension in his body like a spring, ready to snap. I won't move, Marcus said. Kajtar's eyes went dark with anger. Then you both learn together. He swung the neural prod at Marcus's head. Marcus tried to duck, but he was not fast enough. The rod never reached him. Scrappy moved faster than anyone thought possible. One moment he was standing beside Marcus. The next he was in the air. His jaws clamped around the neural prod. With a twist of his powerful neck, he ripped the weapon from Kajtar's hands and crushed it between his teeth. The Vorthak students stared in shock. That's impossible, Vexhan whispered. No Earth animal moves that fast. Scrappy dropped the broken rod and stood between Marcus and the Vorthak students. For the first time, he made a sound. It was low and rumbling, like rocks falling down a mountain. It's just one animal, Kajtar said. But his voice was not as confident as before. 4 of us? One of it. They rushed Scrappy all at once. It was like watching water fight against rocks. Scrappy flowed around their attacks, his body bending in ways that seemed impossible. When Torgax tried to grab him, Scrappy's claws raked across the Vorthak's arm, cutting through scales like they were paper. Torgax screamed and fell backward, green blood flowing from deep cuts. The other 3 Vorthak students looked at their injured friend in disbelief. How did it cut through scales? Vexhan asked. Scrappy's claws were glowing slightly, enhanced by technology that the Vorthak could not understand. He moved in a circle around Marcus, keeping all the enemies in front of him. Get help, Kajtar told the 4th Vorthak. Get my uncle. Tell him we have a dangerous animal here. As the student ran away, Kajtar and Vexhan tried to corner Scrappy against a wall. But the honey badger did not run. Instead, he charged straight at them. Kajtar was fast for his size, but Scrappy was faster. The honey badger leaped onto the Vorthak's chest and bit down on his shoulder. Kajtar screamed as enhanced teeth pierced his scales and found the soft meat underneath. Vexhan tried to pull Scrappy off his friend, but the honey badger's grip was like steel. When Vexhan grabbed Scrappy's back legs, Scrappy twisted around and bit his hand. Vexhan let go quickly, staring at the blood flowing from his fingers. What kind of monster is this? Vexhan gasped. Heavy footsteps echoed in the storage area. Commander Thexvor arrived with 6 guards, all carrying energy weapons. They stopped when they saw the scene. 2 of his nephew's friends bleeding on the ground, and a honey badger standing over them like a warrior. What is the meaning of this? The commander roared. Uncle! Kajtar gasped from the ground. The human brought a monster. It attacked us for no reason. Marcus felt anger burning in his chest. That's not true. They were going to hurt Scrappy with a neural prod. Silence, Commander Thexvor said. I do not care about your excuses. Guards, destroy the beast. The guards raised their weapons, but Scrappy was already moving. He ran straight at Commander Thexvor, ignoring the energy bolts that scorched the air around him. Impossible, one guard said. Nothing can survive direct hits from energy weapons. But Scrappy's enhanced body was designed to absorb and distribute energy. The weapon strikes left small burns on his fur, but did not slow him down. He hit Commander Thexvor like a furry missile. The massive Vorthak commander was knocked backward into a wall of storage containers. Metal boxes crashed down around them as Scrappy climbed up Thexvor's body, his claws finding gaps in the commander's armor. Get it off me, Thexvor screamed. The guards could not shoot without hitting their commander. They tried to grab Scrappy with their hands, but the honey badger was too fast and too strong. Scrappy bit down on Thexvor's arm and held on. The commander tried to slam him against the wall, but Scrappy's grip never loosened. Enhanced muscles and reinforced bones made him nearly indestructible. Stop, Thexvor begged. Make it stop. Marcus stepped forward. He could feel the connection between him and Scrappy stronger than ever before. Scrappy, he called softly. The honey badger looked at him but did not let go of the commander. He's had enough, Marcus said. Only then did Scrappy release his grip. He dropped to the ground, and walked back to Marcus. His fur covered in green Vorthak blood. Commander Thexvor slumped against the wall, his armor broken and his scales torn. Green blood dripped from dozens of wounds. He stared at Scrappy with pure terror in his yellow eyes. "What is that thing?" he whispered. Marcus reached down and gently scratched Scrappy behind the ears. The honey badger's eyes were still glowing, but he was calm now. "He's my best friend," Marcus said simply. "And nobody hurts my best friend." In the silence that followed, Marcus realized that everything had changed. The guards were afraid to move. The wounded Vorthok students were crying, and Commander Thexvor, the most powerful being on the station, was cowering against a wall. For the first time since arriving at Kepler Station, Marcus was not afraid. The emergency meeting took place in the station's main conference room 2 hours after the fight. Marcus sat between his parents, with Scrappy lying calmly at his feet. Across the large table, Commander Thexvor sat with medical bandages covering his wounds. His armor had been removed, showing everyone how badly he had been hurt. Station representatives from all the major species were present. The Nexari ambassador, tall and gray with 4 arms, looked very serious. The Klaxon Queen clicked nervously in her chair. Even the Ethereal Collective had sent a glowing representative that floated above its seat. "This is an emergency session of the Kepler Station Council," the Nexari ambassador announced. "We are here to discuss the incident involving the human child and his companion." Commander Thexvor leaned forward, wincing from his injuries. "The beast is a weapon. The humans brought a biological weapon onto our station disguised as a pet. This breaks 17 different treaties." "That's not true," Dr. Sarah Chen said calmly. "Scrappy is not a weapon. He is an enhanced companion animal, created through legal genetic modification techniques." "Enhanced?" the Klaxon Queen clicked. "Enhanced how?" Dr. James Chen stood up and activated a holographic display. 3 years ago, we were working on a terraforming project that failed. The colonists were attacked by hostile wildlife, and most of the animals we brought for companionship were killed. We realized that future human colonies would need companions that could survive in dangerous environments. The hologram showed a series of genetic charts and modification details. "Honey badgers are already one of Earth's most fearless and tenacious species," Dr. Chen continued. "We enhanced their natural abilities: stronger muscles, reinforced bones, improved healing, and increased intelligence. We also developed a bio-neural link that allows deep bonding between the animal and its human partner." "A psychic link?" The Ethereal Collective's representative hummed in a voice like music. "Not psychic, Dr. Sarah Chen explained. Bio-neural. The enhancement includes specialized cells that can communicate with matching cells that we implanted in Marcus when he was very young. It allows them to understand each other's emotional states and intentions." Marcus felt all the alien eyes looking at him. "It doesn't hurt," he said quietly. "It just feels like Scrappy and I are really good friends." The Nexari ambassador studied the genetic data. "These modifications are impressive. The creature's physical capabilities are far beyond what we expected from Earth fauna, but they turned it into a monster." Kajtar protested from where he sat with his own bandages. "Look what it did to us." "What it did," Dr. Chen said firmly, "was protect a child who was being attacked by 4 larger opponents with weapons. That's exactly what we designed enhanced companions to do." Commander Thexvor slammed his undamaged hand on the table. "They made it too strong. It cannot be controlled." Marcus looked down at Scrappy, who was grooming his paws calmly. "He's not out of control. He only fights when I'm in danger." "The neural records from the storage area confirm the human child's story," the Nexari ambassador said, reading from a tablet. "The Vorthak students threatened the boy and his companion with a neural prod. The creature only became aggressive when its partner was threatened." The Klaxon Queen's antennae twitched. "This raises interesting questions about human colonial strategy. If humans are creating enhanced companions for dangerous worlds, what other surprises might they have?" Dr. Sarah Chen smiled slightly. "Scrappy is just the beginning. We have projects involving enhanced earth wolves, modified bears, and even experimental work with enhanced dolphins for water worlds." The room went very quiet. You're creating an army of enhanced Earth animals? The ethereal collective asked. We're creating companions and protectors for human families who want to live on frontier worlds, Dr. James Chen corrected. Every species has their own solutions for dangerous environments. This is ours. Commander Thexvor looked around the room desperately. They cannot be allowed to continue this. Today it was my nephew and his friends. Tomorrow it could be anyone. The Nexari ambassador's forearms moved as she accessed multiple data sources. Commander Thexvor, the records also show that your nephew and his friends have been systematically bullying human students for weeks. This incident appears to be the result of that behavior escalating to physical violence. They're just children, Thexvor protested. Children who were taught to see other species as inferior. The Klaxon Queen clicked disapprovingly. Children who thought they could hurt smaller beings without consequences. Marcus stood up slowly. All the powerful aliens looked at him. But he was not scared anymore. I just wanted to go to school and make friends, he said. I didn't want to hurt anyone. Scrappy didn't want to hurt anyone either. But when someone tries to hurt us, we protect each other. That's what friends do. The room was silent for a long moment. The ethereal collective's representative floated closer to Marcus and Scrappy. May I examine the bio-neural link? Marcus looked at his parents, who nodded. The glowing being extended something like a hand toward Marcus's head. Marcus felt a warm, tingling sensation. Fascinating, the ethereal said. The bond is genuine and deep. The creature's loyalty is absolute. But it is not mindless. There is intelligence there, and choice. It chooses to protect because it loves, not because it was programmed to. And the human child? The Nixari ambassador asked. Also genuine. He has no desire for violence or conquest. He simply wants to live in peace with his companion. Commander Thexvor looked defeated. So what happens now? Do we allow humans to bring more of these creatures to our station? The Nexari ambassador considered this. The humans have not violated any laws. Their companion animal, while enhanced, only acted in self-defense. However, this incident has shown us that we need better policies for enhanced organisms. She turned to Marcus's parents. We will allow your family to continue living here, and your son may continue to attend school with his companion. However, we require full disclosure of any future enhanced animals brought to the station. That's reasonable, Dr. Chen agreed. As for the bullying problem, the ambassador continued, looking at Commander Thexvor, we will be implementing new policies to ensure all students are treated with respect, regardless of species. Commander Thexvor's scales darkened with embarrassment. Yes, Ambassador. Over the following weeks, everything changed on Kepler Station. Marcus returned to school, but now Scrappy came with him every day. The other students gave them both respectful space, but it was not the fearful avoidance of before. Instead, Marcus found himself making friends with students from different species who were curious about Earth animals and human enhancement techniques. Kajtar and his friends were required to attend sensitivity training and perform community service. They avoided Marcus completely now, but they also stopped bullying other students. The biggest change was in how other species viewed humans. Word of the honey badger incident spread quickly through the trading networks. Other stations began requesting more information about human enhancement projects. Some species wanted to trade for enhanced Earth animals. Others wanted to know more about human bio-neural linking technology. We're getting requests from 12 different systems. Dr. Sarah Chen told Marcus one evening as they ate dinner. Everyone wants to know more about our work. Are we famous? Marcus asked. In a way, his father said. But more importantly, we're respected. People understand now that humans have our own ways of dealing with dangerous situations. Marcus looked down at Scrappy, who was eating from his own bowl nearby. The honey badger had grown even more. But he was still gentle with Marcus and playful with his toys. Do you think other kids will get enhanced companions too? Marcus asked. Some will, his mother said. But each bond is special. Each partnership is unique. That night, as Marcus lay in bed with Scrappy curled up beside him, he felt grateful for everything that had happened. It had been scary and painful. but it had also shown him how strong the bond between him and his best friend really was. Through their bio-neural link, he could feel Scrappy's contentment and love. The honey badger was happy too, knowing that his boy was safe and respected. Outside their quarters, Kepler Station hummed with activity as always. But now, when other beings talked about humans, they spoke with interest and respect instead of dismissal. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate a species that would enhance a honey badger and call it a pet. And especially never underestimate the bond between a boy and his best friend. Marcus and Scrappy had found their place among the stars, and they had done it together.